Hey, good afternoon. How y'all doing? It is Well Red Beard, and it's a damn fine day to talk about a book. Today we are here for a book review, and we are talking about Flesh Rehearsal by Brian Bowyer. And here is Mr. Bowyer right there. This is a novel. It is my fourth read by Bowyer. I have done Sinister Mix, which I gave 5 stars to. I've done Perpetual Dread, which I gave 4 stars to. These two are short story collections. And I've done Road Harvest, which is a novella. It's actually, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. Brian, am I allowed to say this is a part one? Maybe I shouldn't have said that, Brian. You can come and beat me up if I'm breaking the rules here. Not that many people watch these anyway, but we're going to see some characters from this book again. Anyway, Road Harvest by Brian Bowyer. They're all really, really extreme, especially the short stories. Just extreme. Um, no hope in these stories. A lot of death, a lot of blood, a lot of sadness and grief, and the kid gets it, the dog gets it, everybody gets it. This one felt a little bit different because it's a novel and it's no less extreme. There are a lot of extreme parts about this book, but not everyone dies, and that's the closest thing you can hope for, I think, as far as a happy ending in a Bowyer book. But this book does not have an overwhelmingly miserable ending. So that, hey, that's a good thing. And I didn't know what to expect because I hadn't read a Bowyer novel. But in this one, we start with Gretchen. We meet Gretchen, and she has run away from home. Her mother has passed away from pancreatic cancer, and in the same week, her father was abusive. It's not her stepfather, it's her father. Her father was abusive to her, and then to her younger sister. And her mom dies of pancreatic cancer, and her sister commits suicide, and her father dies as well, all in the same week. And so she is free, I guess is a way to put it, but alone and on the run to get away from the mess that has been left there at home. And she runs into two kids, Jacob and Amelia, teenagers beyond their years, really, rich kids. They live in California, but they were in Chicago to settle their father's estate. Their father was a famous rock star, and they flew out there, but Jacob hates flying, and so they rent a van and drive back and pick up Gretchen on the way. And they soon find out that Gretchen is the best singer they have ever heard, and they just so happen to be starting a band back home in California. And they're rich. Their father was a rock star. They have the resources to put together this band and record an album. So they pick up Gretchen. They go back to California. They're living in this big haunted mansion. It is a haunted mansion. Not really that important to the story, but still, it's a haunted mansion. And so they're living there, and the mother is engaged to marry Dominic. He's like a local club owner, so also money. His son Ludlow is going to be the drummer in the band, but we're kind of just following along on this young band's adventure. Ludlow's all the time out getting high, and he's schizophrenic. And when he gets high, he gets in these really, really fucked up dream sequences. I mean, you think they're real, and each one seems to escalate worse and worse. But like he's in a situation, and it goes into this part of it, and it always ends up being a dream. But these dreams are so messed up, so crazy, and again they escalate. But the very first one is just a simple one, like a sex relationship thing with him and a girl, and it gets very, very painful. Very painful is all I will tell you. Very painful, a painful sexual situation for a man. But so, but they're escalating. But the thing is when he comes back to his senses after he realizes that all this crazy shit he just went through it. I mean, bloody, gory death situations that he goes through. He comes out of it and wakes up, and realizes that things have gone really bad around him, just not for him, and that's all I'm going to say about it. But it's really really wild. So they get together and they're doing their band thing or whatnot. We meet a character named Raven first through Ludlow, but then through Gretchen, and she is a bit of a wild woman on her own. She fights in these death matches, these like underground club fights, but they're to the death, usually against men. And so she's just a badass. But all the while all this is going on, there is a serial killer on the loose in California, and he goes by the term the lobotomizer. We come to find out later he's been killing for years. He hates the name that the media has given him because that's just the latest rendition of what he does. I mean, he's been killing people forever, not just lobotomizing them, but he's dropping people off on the road, women, young girls, and their frontal lobe or whatever has been taken, messed with, whatever, and so they're basically like walking zombies, near death, but still alive. So we're not finding bodies, we're finding living victims. And there's one scene with him and a mother and her young daughter, and that is some of the most fucked up shit I have ever read. I mean, damn, what can I tell you? I really can't, but it is some messed up stuff. I mean, one thought that came to mind, that, and I don't know where it really came from, and I don't know how much weight it holds, but in my opinion, this is the best Richard Lehman book ever, but Richard Lehman didn't write it. I mean, it really does take that 1990s, violent, extreme horror feel and kind of wrap it up in a 2020s package. It's just super extreme, but there's a storyline to it. I mean, you get to a point where you do enjoy these characters. You do somewhat care about them, especially Gretchen, because of all the shit she has been through to get to this point. There's also kind of Bowyer signature, in my opinion, at this point. There's some heavy whiskey drinking, a lot of whiskey. We're always drinking whiskey in this book, always passing the bottle back and forth. So much so that there's one line that it's like, let me hit that whiskey or let me get a drink of that whiskey, and it'll show that character taking a drink, and they always pass the bottle back. Like, so much so that idea of hitting it and passing it back is very repetitive, and it's almost like I know Bowyer was doing it on purpose. It's almost like a funny little, not an Easter egg or whatever, but they're always taking a drink of the bottle and passing it back. And it tells you that we're passing the bottle back. I don't know what it was about that line, but it's very repetitive. And I kind of caught myself, laughing or getting tickled every time it would come up. But a lot of extreme stuff. And I will say this, the story leads you to believe that so-and-so is the killer, so-and-so is the lobotomizer, but it's not. That's even a twist. That is something you don't see coming. Like, I guess if you thought about it hard enough, it might have crossed your mind, but it didn't mine. And so when that is revealed, when the villain is revealed, it is a surprise, and it's really kind of just punch you in the mouth surprise. You're like, oh, holy shit. So it's enjoyable all the way through. I think I'm going to give it 4 to 4.5 stars. I'm not sure. I'll choose that when I go to write my review. I mean, it wasn't 5 stars for me, but it was close. And so that's it. This is Flesh Rehearsal, Brian Bowyer. It's another hell of a book. He has not missed for me yet. He's probably the most extreme independent writer. He's definitely the most extreme independent writer that I'm following, that I'm kind of digging into their work. I've got another book of his here called Apocalypse. I think it's an older novel that I'll be doing in the next month or so. And then I'm going to have to go back and look for some more, because he's got a lot of back titles. I don't know how many of them are still in print, but he's been writing for a long time, and he's got, I don't know, that's like 15 or so books here. So a lot of shit to check out. But this is Well Red Beard. This has been my review of Flesh Rehearsal. It is an absolute hell of a book. You will not be disappointed with Bowyer, unless you're easily offended. If you're easily offended, you might be disappointed. But if you are in there and you're looking for some extreme horror, something that, kind of recalls the feelings you got from those 1990s extreme books. You got to check him out. Well Red Beard, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying all your books as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.